Chapter 3 Kanya the Spectre. Naruto was having a pretty mediocre day in his opinion. It had been about 2 weeks since the prank war, and Naruto had almost been fired, but thankfully, Mr. Sato was one to get to the root of the problem, and the root of the problem was apparently Jim, and much to Naruto's delight Jim was fired, but much to Naruto's dismay, he was given 4 months of flyer duty. It was hell, but, at least he hadn't been fired. So where do we find our blonde hero now? Well, probably what you're doing, lazing around your house when you could be doing something productive. But anyway, let's get to something interesting. Same time, Jim's pov dash. Jim hated a lot of things. He hated donuts, he hated pizza, he had a strong hatred for flyers, but most of all he hated losing, and quite recently he had lost 3 times. He had lost the competition, he had lost the prank war, and he had lost his job. And all of this was done by that bastard Naruto. He swore if he had a chance he'd kill that bastard. Jim yelled the last part out. Fortunately for him, a certain something had heard his rage. "Excuse me sir, I couldn't help but notice your rage and was wondering if I could be of assistance." Where did that voice come from?" Jim said while looking around. "My name does not matter right now. What does matter is that you want revenge on this Naruto, yes?" "Yes." "Well, you're in luck. I just happen to have the power to let you do it." "Oh, and what is that?" "Don't worry about it, all you need to know is that Naruto will stand no chance when I'm done with you." "Well, what do we need to do?" "Well, do you have a computer?" "Yes." "Well, Jim, get yourself something to eat, cause you're going to be watching some fighting videos." Why? "You'll see." Out of their whole conversation, Jim had never seen the person behind the voice once. That night, Naruto's pov dash. Naruto was bored, very bored. He had nothing to do at his house that he hadn't done 10 times before, so he decided to go for a walk around his block. So putting on his normal clothes, he went out of his house. Little did he know he would get much more than he expected this night. Naruto was always more of a night person. He loved the nighttime air, he loved looking at the stars, and he loved the quietness of it. But there are a couple things he didn't like. He didn't like the fact that a lot of crimes happened in the night. He didn't like fact that drunk drivers were prevalent during the night. But there was another thing he didn't like, which were employees suddenly attacking him, which funnily enough was happening right now. "What the hell, Jim, what do you think you're doing?" "Shut up, Naruto, you're the reason I've lost, and for making me lose I will kill you." Now one might think that Jim's motivation is quite stupid, and, if you thought that, you'd be right. In reality, the boys Jim had been talking to had been heavily influenced his feeling of rage while also altering his memories, blowing whatever memories that caused Jim's anger. Now let's see how Naruto reacts. What, that's so stupid, you want to kill me cause you lost? That's gotta be the stupidest motivation I've ever seen. "Shut up, I'm going to kill you." And then the fight started. Now before I get to the fight that I'm actually going to put some thought into, allow me to tell you a bit of info about a man named Kanya the Spectre, but that was only his name after he died. His name when he was alive, you ask? Well, he was named Kanya the Imitator, one of the most powerful figures in history. Now before I tell you about a devil clan called the House of Uchiha, before the Great War they were on par with the likes of Gremory, Saitree, and Bell, and it was one of these Uchihas that gave birth to Kanya, but it was the father that was the true reason that Kanya was so strong. Well, it was no one else than Ares, god of war. Now what do you get when an Uchiha famed for their magic and hands-to-head copying abilities with a god who gets stronger the more he fights, combined into a single being? Well, you would get a monster, and it was this same monster that was helping Jim. Now when Kanya died he lost a lot of his memories, but he did remember his skills, so he had Jim watch those fighting videos to make Jim learn some of those moves. See, while Kanya was influencing Jim's mind, he was also influencing Jim's body, making his muscles adapt to use those fighting skills. Ending on that note, let's see how this fight plays out. Naruto was by no means bad at fighting. He was proficient in fighting styles and knew moves from other styles, so you can imagine his surprise when Jim completely blitzed and blindsided him, sending him flying into a nearby wall. Cough cough. "Wow Jim, you're pretty good," Naruto said while getting up, but I'm better." As Naruto was saying this, he was setting his fist like a jab but a bit different. It was almost like a snake, coiling its body to strike. Taking no heed, Jim ran towards Naruto again but was surprised to find a fist square in his face. Faster than he could see, gathering his bearings, Jim went into another stance preparing to strike when he was met with 3 more strikes, 2 to both sides of his temple and 1 to his chin. He was then met with a kick to his stomach that sent him flying away. Getting up, Jim heard words that pissed him off to no end. "Flowing snake style, snake jab, coil combo." "Well Jim, what are you waiting for?" he said with a grin. "Come and kill me," Naruto taunted. And with that they rushed at each other. Dodging Naruto's fist, Jim followed up with a fist of his own, but was quickly blocked by one hand, and with Naruto's other hand he uppercut Jim, sending him a few inches in the air, but then twisting in midair Jim evaded Naruto's follow-up kick, also using it as an anchor to pull himself to the ground in a crouching position. From there he sprang up trying to hit Naruto's jaw, but was blocked. Unfortunately for Naruto it was a feint, but fortunately for Naruto he was able to perceive and block it in time. Now having both of his hands, Naruto proceeded to knee Jim in the stomach, following it up with the leg sweep, forcing Jim to the ground. Then Naruto forced one of Jim's arms into a very breakable position behind his back. "Give up Jim or your arm's gonna pay the price. Gee, go to hell you bastard." Crack. I said give up. Never. Crack. Damn it. One more chance Jim, give up. Okay, I give up. Break. Damn you, I said I gave up. I didn't believe you. Huff you bastard, I'll kill you, damn it huff. Well, you're gonna have to try harder than Naruto said. Fine, Jim whispered. Jim was tired, crazed, beaten and bruised, but there was one thing he still had. He had a knife. Now Naruto at this point had already turned around to leave and call the cops, when stabbing noise. Jim won, he won. He had killed the man he hated so much, but then 8 seconds in the span of 8 seconds Naruto had punched Jim in the face, slammed him on the ground and then had jumped onto and then off of a nearby dumpster. The last thing that Jim heard was triple spin kick. And then it went black. Naruto was pissed, not because he got stabbed, no, his regeneration took care of that. He was pissed cause he got stabbed in his favorite sweatshirt, so now he was gonna have to cut his night short and use a shortcut by the fountain. So here he was, having to end his night on a sour note, bloody shirt and all. But as Naruto was walking near the fountain, he sensed something strange. It was a presence that he had felt for years, the presence of a fallen angel. Rushing around the corner, Naruto was met with an unpleasant sight. He saw a buxom dark-haired young woman in very revealing clothing, but that wasn't the bad part. The bad part was the dead teenager under her. Well, you say it's been fun, but I think it's best I go. I've already caused a bit of a ruckus, so thanks for the bracelet, I'll cherish it forever, bye now. And with that the woman flashed away, leaving nothing but a dead boy behind. What did Naruto do, you ask? Well, he did nothing. Yup, nothing. Really, what did you expect him to do? It's not like he could heal him. And what would happen if he called the cops? Well, they would suspect him, and he did not want to deal with that tonight when suddenly Naruto's eyes were met with a crimson-red flash of light. Squinting a bit, Naruto saw a crimson-haired girl dressed in the uniform of a school near Naruto. Hey, I know that uniform. Some students walk by my apartment on their way to school in that. Was it Ku-ah? Oh gaspo, it was Ku-ah, obviously, Naruto thought, but he was soon drawn out of his musings when the girl stepped out of the light and Naruto got a better view of her, specifically what was in her hands. Well, what was in them, you ask? 8 pawns. She was holding 8 pawns, and she was putting them on the dead boy. Naruto was walking home in a somewhat lax state. He had known about the devification process, but he had never been a witness to it. So you can imagine his surprise when he heard a voice from his left that he hadn't sensed. Hello, Sir Poof. Naruto had punched where the voice was coming from, but was surprised when he punched air, but he was more surprised when a figure appeared in front of him. He had shaggy red hair, a pretty handsome face, and he was wearing a red, white and blue tracksuit. It just Johan from Lookism's tracksuit from the Big Deal hunting arc. Anyways, back to the story. Who are you? Asked Naruto. My name is Kainya. I was the one who helped Jim fight you. And why did you do that? Maybe because I felt like it, I was really bored. Yeah, I get that. Oh, I have an idea. And what is that? How about I move in with you? I don't eat or drink or need clothes, and this way we can cure both of our boredom. Why do you think I'd cure your boredom? 'Cause you seem like a magnet for trouble. Huh, fine, you can move in. Great, Kainya said with a smile. I'll see you when you get back, and don't worry, I know where you live. And with that, Kainya disappeared. Huh, what have I gotten myself into? Naruto said with a smile. Things were going to get a lot more lively around here.